Hi everyone. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about Vibrant Sound Bridge under middle ear implants. It is a transcutaneous, partially implantable hearing solution which helps in individuals with mild to severe hearing impairment and do not get adequate benefit from conventional amplification due to various reasons. It was first implanted in the year 1996 by Professor Hugo Fish. It was introduced as a treatment option for moderate to severe sensorineural hearing loss. The patients reported that they had a natural sound quality perception through the device. Also, they had high device satisfaction. They had better ability to understand speech, especially in noisy environment. All these reports were in comparison to the conventional amplification. This middle ear implant does not cause occlusion effect, do not create acoustic feedback, and higher amplification do not lead to distortions as what is seen with conventional hearing aids. Later, by 2007, the Vibrant Sound Bridge was approved as a treatment option for conductive and mixed hearing loss. The internal component consists of a receiver coil along with a magnet, a demodulator, and floating mass transducer. The external component has a audio processor along with microphone. The sound will be picked up by the microphones in the audio processor. The signal will be processed in the signal processing software. The processed signal will be transmitted to the internal device through amplitude modulation. Once the receiver coil receives the information from the audio processor, it will be sent to the demodulator where the signal is demodulated into electrical pulses which when reaches the floating mass transducer causes it to vibrate. These vibrations can be fed to the cochlea either through the ossicles or directly by placing it over the round window. Once the vibrations are sent into the cochlea, hearing takes place. With respect to the surgical procedure, a postorical incision is made at the surgical site. The soft tissues are retracted. The periosteum is removed to expose the cortical bone. A bone bed is created for the demodulator to safely and securely placed onto the skull bone. A retraction pocket is created to enhouse the receiver coil. Once this is placed, a posterior tympanotomy is done via the partial mastectomy. Through the posterior tympanotomy, the floating mass transducer is introduced into the middle ear space, where it is safely secured onto the long process of incus with the help of a titanium clip. A skin graft and muscle flaps are placed at the mastectomy region and the surgical site is sutured. Vittorio Coletti proposed that the VSD could improve hearing in individuals with profound hearing loss or conductive and mixed hearing loss by placing the floating mass transducer directly onto the round window. Thus, various positions of FMT was practiced. Jeffrey Ball, the inventor of Vibrant Sound Bridge, created the floating mass transducer in such a way that it can be positioned on any mobile structure within the middle ear. Dr. Milo Beltrame from Italy classified the vibroplasty as COR, where C stands for ossicular chain and O stands for oval window, R stands for round window. We are going to see few examples where the floating mass transducer can be held safely. In this picture, we can see that the floating mass transducer is held securely onto the long process of incus, and this is the conventional method of implanting the FMT. This is for sensorineural hearing loss. Or for higher amplification, the floating mass transducer can be implanted or placed onto the round window directly. When there is a conductive hearing loss and a loss of ossicular chain, then whichever ossicular chain is available, the floating mass transducer can be placed onto it. So here it is placed on the stapes. And there are no ossicles present in the middle ear cavity due to the conductive component of loss. Thereby, the floating mass transducer is placed onto the total ossicular restructuring prosthesis. There is another option where the floating mass transducer can be placed in the middle ear by creating a third window. A cochleostomy can be done on the promontory of cochlea to expose the membranous labyrinth. Then the floating mass transducer can be directly placed over the structures of the inner ear. But this procedure is too risky that the delicate structures of the inner ear can be damaged during the process. Hence, the results are poorer when compared to the other options. The complications in the surgery include the extrusion of the device or device rejection, partial or total flap necrosis in the region of the mastoidectomy, or the migration of floating mass transducer from the actual implanted site. These are the references which were taken for this particular lecture. Thank you.